Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Yes children, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're on.
Alright, just I'll increase the volume a little. Yes. Is it better now? Alright.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. So my dear students and my esteemed colleagues, welcome to the fifth and final day of the orientation program. It gives me immense pleasure to meet you all on this platform after a long time. This 5-day orientation program was conducted with an aim that you will not only recapitulate the various facilities and opportunities offered by your university, but also to revive, rejuvenate, and power up all your potential for this final year of your course. With this aim in our minds, let us welcome our very own, our Honorable Director Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray ma'am, whose guiding spirit has always motivated us to be what we all are at Amity School of Languages. Welcome all. Dear students and colleagues, on behalf of our director, Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, Rohit sir has something to say.
Uh, Good evening to all of you, especially our alumni who have given us time for this session and will be sharing their experience. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, HOI, Amity School of Languages, who has shown support and has been after this whole idea of creating an alumni group and strengthening it so that we can build a better future for all the students. You know how important it is to create a network, and networking has become a very important and integral part of profession. So with our alumni, we're getting in contact with them, and Kumkum ma'am has shown always a desire that the buddy mentors, the alumni should always be a part of the department. They should always feel they are at home when they join the department, and they can always share their industry experience with the students who are pursuing their graduation and post-graduation courses so that they can be ready for the industry, for the profession, for the career which they are planning to go in. So in that, we have already thought of conducting constant engagement with our alumni. We will be organizing monthly events, and ma'am is looking after it, and she will be doing it. And every month we will invite alumni from different fields, different professions, who will be sharing their experiences with us, with you all. So today we have three alumni. Two are very young; they have just passed last years, and they are still pursuing their higher academics. So they'll be giving their experience about how you can pursue or prepare for your professional courses. Along with that, we also have one senior alumni who is working with a startup and will be sharing her experience about what to do and what to do and how to plan to go beyond academics if somebody is thinking of doing that. So before I invite our alumni to speak about their experiences here in the department and in the professional world or academic world where they're pursuing higher degrees, I would just read a poem which was published in one of the international journals of on multicultural literature, written by our own Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, uh, who has been a poet and she has published a lot of works. So I will just read her poem and then we will start the session. Uh, so the name of the poem is The language of my poems. I want to learn the language of birds, the rustle of leaves, the sonorous rippling of the streams, the gurgling of the seas, the calm, silent thoughts that pervade at the bottom of the oceans, the language of the clouds in conflict with each other, and their language of peace. The signs and symbols that the sun throws around on herbs, shrubs, bushes, and trees. How it whispers sweet nothing to the moon, coy and shy, evoking a response of love soaked in his eyes. The wind that chimes in the bamboos and the vines, playing lovers hide and seek, longing to end in each other's arms. So much in love, every day a Valentine. That would be a that would be the language of my poems. Rushing from my nib, in words hiding a thousand pictures, woven and tangled, multicultural mosaic, unique, deadly grey of frightful, morbid realities, interspersed with the valleys in the bloom, filled with magnetic aromas. The glaciers tipping, thunderous, voluminous, with devastating, gigantic waves, gobbling every bit on its blind way. The lightning that charcoals the living and the breathing, yet sparkling delightfully like psychedelic lights, dancing in the dark. A poem in a language never heard or seen before, mysterious, drawing, attracting, in painting scenes of sublimity, talking, singing, words camouflaging, hiding stories untold. A poem like fresh creation, born from my womb, unlike before. Words that entwine, breathe, feel, touch, like never, ever. First time, virgin in purity, unchained, unbroken, unaided, uninhibited. Poems of love, in love, with the idea of love, taking paths untrodden, strewed with pebbles unseen, of sad and a sad and ultimate stillness. So, with this ultimate stillness and poem of language, which explores the idea of love, which is nature, we start this session and we welcome our lovely alumni. Uh, I think you might be familiar with Akash Kumar Shrivastava and Ashi Keshri, and you might not be familiar with Stuti Saxena. So we will start with them, and first of all, I would welcome Stuti. Welcome to this session. Uh,
Good evening. Thank you
Good
for
evening,
having
good evening, Stuti. It is great to see you here. Just a minute. I think ma'am is has. Okay, okay. All right. So, Stuti, good evening. Thank you for giving your time. I know you're really busy these days, and it finds difficult to get in touch with you because of the kind of work which you are involved in. And Akash and Ashi, you're also welcome. I know you are busy with your academics, and thank you for giving time. So, Stuti, I will just take 5 more minutes if you permit. I just want to present a presentation, and then we can have an interaction which will be helpful for the students who are planning to pursue career which you have opted and decided to go for. So yes, students, so I will be sharing a presentation on alumni, what actually this whole idea is, and why this is, we are running so much after this idea, and why ma'am is running so much after this idea. So I will be sharing that with you all in through a PPT. Uh, So, is it visible? The slide, present, my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, okay. So, what is an alumni? We all know the word alumni refers to a former student of a school, college, or university. So, it's always great to have a bond with your students who have left your department and have gone in the industry or in a professional world, and they are experiencing what the students who are already in and doing graduation will be experiencing. So, it's always great to have young exposure from these alumni who are there having first-hand information and knowledge about the profession. So that's where alumni has been brought in, and that is where we are. So what is an alumni association? Like, this is again very important. There are a lot of alumni associations throughout the universities. Amity University is building its own alumni association, where we are trying to connect with students who are in different fields and different domains, and they're also connected and associated throughout the globe. It's not only India, but the Alumni Association of Amity University is such a large association that the alumnus of Amity University are in America, Australia, any continent you name, and they all are there. So that is one thing which I would like to share with you. And then an alumni association is an association of graduates, or more broadly former students, also known as, and we also conduct alumni meet for that, which we will be doing shortly, regularly. And to connect with alumni association, we also conduct and organize events such as this, which we are doing today. And also we publish newsletters and magazines on which we are planning and working on. So, and then again, there's another way where alumni can always support their organization through funds, and at times through their experience, through their expertise to the organization. So there are different ways in which alumni can always support the organization. So there are a lot of services which alumni can provide and do. So in that context, we are looking, and it will also help in building relations. Now, relations are very important in today's 21st century world, which is again we call Industrial Revolution 4.0, where networks and connections and your engagement will always help in creating a buzz, and you can always get an opportunity. I still remember Stuti is working in an organization, and I will talk about that at length, and how she contacted me because she was searching for some young students who can do the content writing and frame a curriculum, and I suggested some students to her, and then she conducted interviews, and maybe some of them would have been selected. So for these opportunities, we always require alumni, and we always require a network in different professional domains, so that students can directly know where they have to go, how to they build resume for a particular profession, and how to achieve that. So that is what alumni will do in this department. We're working hard for it, and brand building and grading and skill development are the basic key thing, along with networking, interacting, and staying in touch with alumni network is also very crucial for students who are thinking of pursuing their career in particular profession, or even if you are preparing for some job selection or some government job selection. There are many students from our department who have been selected in various jobs. So we'll be bringing them in. They will be sharing their experience, how to prepare, how to work upon, what will be the strategy to do to conduct and go ahead. So it's basically an exercise, where we are trying to bring you all in and trying to connect you with the alumni who are in the professional world, and they are ready to share their experience and their work culture with you all, so that you are ready before passing your graduation, so that you know what you have to do, where to go, how to frame your resume, how to work upon that. So we'll be talking about that. So in that context, we have here Stuti Saxena. Stuti, welcome. I would be really glad. Millie, if you can just brief about Stuti Saxena, Stuti ma'am, and then we can go ahead. So please, Millie, if you can just brief.
With your permission, Rohit, it's such a pleasure to see you today. Stuti, I still remember your walking in for your BA Honors course and how wonderfully well you have blossomed into a young woman, and that too a successful professional. It's really heartwarming and so rewarding to see you today. And I'm so glad you're here to contribute to your juniors, and especially when you were such an outstanding alumni. Welcome, Stuti,
Yes,
and it's
I
a great
think Kumkum
pleasure
ma'am is
to
there.
have you on board. Thank you. I could join in, and thank you so much, Deepshikha, for
Welcome,
Pankaj
ma'am.
and Rohit for our oldest alumni still in union with Amity School of Languages. So thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to see you, Stiti. On to you to share your words.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So good to meet you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's all because of your guidance and support
Yes.
that we are able to uh, uh, conduct such activities and events. This echo, let me sort it. I think I would request others to mute yourself. Okay, thank you. So now, yes. Uh, Now, before I would interact with Stuti and Ashi and Akash, I would just ask Millie to just please give a small bio of Stuti ma'am, Akash sir, and Ashi ma'am, so that after that we can have a conversation and interaction. Please.
First of all, we welcome you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. So, Stuti ma'am has basically completed her MA in English Literature. Currently, she is co-leading the English department of education startup named Camp 12. Moving on to Ashi Kesari ma'am, she is working in the telecommunications sector and IIMC journalism, and she is an IIMC journalism student.
And Akash also is there, I guess. Really, Akash sir is also there. All right, so Akash is so much involved in the department activities after passing out. Said everybody forgets that he is an alumni. So all right. So Stuti, before heading to Ashi and Akash, I would like to start with you. So first of all, tell me about your journey like from like BA English honors you did from ASL. We know how we were involved in academic and extracurricular activities, and then you did your masters, and after that, I guess you did your MPhil from Noida, and then one change course which you did, one professional course. So please tell me about your journey and how you reached to this startup where you're doing really well. So please, Stuti, please. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for having me here, sir. And Kumkum ma'am, thank you so much. Whatever I am, I do owe it to Amity School of Languages and the teachers, because there's so much that I have learned during those 3 years, which truly, really has helped me in this journey. So I really very heartwarmingly thank you for all your guidance and support. And yes, the journey has been interesting so far. It's like goes back slightly to 11th standard, because like I say, the teachers have a huge role to play in a student's life, and they themselves might not realize, the students might not realize, but now that I am teaching also, I do know that the kind of teacher that I want to be. And when I'm training other teachers into how to teach and how to make their lessons student centric, I do owe a lot to Amity School of Languages and the teachers that who trained me. Deepshika ma'am is also here, and so basically in class 11th and 12th, I was told by my literature and English teacher that I'm not a very bright student, and that's what I grew up learning. And the first day of Amity, I remember I had a mic in my hand and I decided this is going to change. So, and it changed right from the very first day. And I got a lot of opportunity to perform, to explore, and to grow, all because of that university and the teachers. So I will keep on harping about it again and again because it truly has shaped my whole career, my perspective, me from and pursued my master's from Lucknow University. Then I went on to do my MPhil in English literature. And like you said, that I did this course which changed the whole course of events. I missed out PhD admission by 3 marks, and it really disheartened me. But at that time, pandemic had also happened, and I was just exploring. Now, the first time I heard about CELTA, CELTA, it's a Cambridge University course. It means Certificate of English Language Teaching for Adults, was by Reena Mitra ma'am, and she guided me through this process. She told me about CELTA and Delta, and I spoke to her again after completing my masters and MPhil when I decided to go forward with him. I also had a word with a lot of teachers who completed the course. So anyone who wants to learn how to teach, who wants to understand what are the different norms and methodologies of teaching, I would definitely encourage you to take this course. It's a month and a half, almost a month and a half course, but it is extremely exhausting and extensive, and it teaches you a lot about language skills, methodologies, different approaches, classroom management, lesson planning, feedback, assignments. So it's an English language teaching course for adults, but it also helps you to teach junior grades also. So after that, I came to started applying, and EdTech in back in 2017 was a very science focused, maths focused industry. Now, right now, like from last December, they all want to capture the English market. So there is a lot of opportunities for all of the students who are here and who just passed out and want to pursue something beyond academics. EdTech in India is a $700 million industry at the moment, and it is here to stay. It is the future of learning in India. So, yeah, that's briefly
All right,
about.
Stuti. So we will come back to you. I will be asking several questions. Many students are eager to know about how to go for the CELTA if it's required, and how to get into these startup companies, ed tech, which you say. And I had a talk with you, and you told at length about this whole industry. So yes, I will come back to you. Before coming back to, I will introduce another alumni. So before coming to Ashi, I will because I'm going into in the order of seniority. So Shruti Kalra ma'am is here. She is assistant professor at Goel Institute of Colleges, and she is planning to pursue her PhD from Amity University, Amity School of Language itself. So I got an opportunity that in that medias res, in that betweenness, where she will again become the student of Amity School of Languages. I will just ask her to join in and share her experience as an alumni. So Shruti, ma'am, please, you're welcome. Thank you for joining at the short notice. So again, Shruti, please share your experience with the students and your
Uh,
teaching and
can
everything.
I take the permission of
Yes,
disrupting?
ma'am. But yes, ma'am. Please,
It is
please.
such a delight to see you, Shruti, and you know, seeing you back after so many years on this platform is really very rewarding, and we are so glad to have you with us. I hope you continue your mentoring with your juniors and they find your words, your hand holding fruitful. So I'm so glad to see you, Shruti. Please share your experiences. You're looking beautiful this afternoon. So do continue to be in association with your Amity School of Languages. It is your home. Keep flying in. You all have flown away to your own destinations, but we still miss you at the department. Each and every face that you has been with us for so many years, and that's really our reward. So welcome, and on to you, Suti. Do keep in association, and more so with your juniors. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh,
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was so good to hear you after so long. And yes, truly, I have been associated with the department. I have completed my BA Honors English under your guidance, ma'am. And I am still planning to come back to Amity, as Rohit sir already said that I'm planning to pursue my PhD from the department again, because it is the roots that has been joined so bad from the department. I really don't want to go somewhere else. And even like Stuti ma'am just said, she has been my senior, and I did meet you, ma'am, recently. We met at the interview at LU, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it is so good to be back with the people we have grown up with. I wasn't like this. I was a kid back then, and now, like ma'am said, I'm an adult. Like, these are my juniors and I'm addressing them. I see Deepshikha ma'am over here. And I have been like, after Rohit sir's life, for everything. Like, Rohit sir, this has happened. Now what do I do? I need your guidance and everything. So yeah, Amity has not only given me a platform to be a teacher, but it has groomed me as a human as well. Like, I was just a student, a 12th pass out kid who was unaware about what to do, where to go, and everything else. But then, uh,
Sorry to interrupt, Shruti. Can we see you? Your face is not properly visible.
okay,
Yes, now better. Now better.
okay,
Yes.
okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Please continue.
Yeah, yeah. So as I was saying that when I joined English honors at Amity, I was always told by my faculties at school that it is just maths and science that would help you in the future. I have been really, really bad at maths. Like, I am very bad at maths. Somebody teaches me something and I go all blank. All I know is literature. It is just my love for literature that I'm pursuing this career. Also, I have been so fascinated with all the faculties at Amity that it has really inculcated that thing in me that yes, I want to teach as well. Like, that became my motto from the day I entered Amity, because seeing all the people over here, I was under Gitanjali ma'am. She's not here in the department now, she's left. But then Manjari ma'am has taught me, Kumkum ma'am has taught me, Dipshika ma'am has taught me, and I see everybody here, and so it brings back so many memories and all. So yeah, and like sir said that I am teaching. I completed my MA from Lucknow University in English only, and now I'm planning to pursue my PhD. So like, this is for all my juniors over here. If anybody tells you that you're bad at maths, you're bad at logical reasoning or something, just don't worry about it. Go with the flow, and literature is going to do wonders with you. And when I say that, just trust me on it. Like, today I'm teaching, I am teaching the technical kids. I'm teaching in the technical department of the Goel Institute. I am teaching the BTech students, and I do not regret that I don't know certain subjects. I don't have to have an expertise over everything in life, and that's what I've learned. Right. So that's what you will be learning here, 3 years of your life, and you would definitely not regret at any point of time that you've taken admission in a private university. It is far, far, far better than most of the places you'll be able to you'll be able to visit all your life. So I am very, very sure that you will enjoy your life over here. Yes, pandemic has obviously taken over the lectures and everything, but I am pretty sure that under the guidance of such great teachers, you all are going to just have a great time at Amity. So yeah, that's
All
all
right.
about it.
Thank you, Shruti, for your opening comments. I will come back to you again with certain questions.
Sure,
Now
sir.
we will have Ashi Keshri. Now she is has chosen a different field. You know, now she has gone altogether into journalism, and she is pursuing her. She has just got selected in Indian Institute of Mass Communication, which is very highly reputed institute in India, and she is doing so. Ashi, please tell us something about you. It's not been a while that you have left the campus, but it's great to see you again.
Very good evening to
If I can
everyone.
take a minute,
Yes,
Ashi,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
wonderful to
Yes.
see you on this platform
Yes,
today.
ma'am.
And I hope you're going to take your name into journalism, and along with you, the name of Amity School of Languages. And well, congratulations, you got an admission into a very prestigious institute. So, all the best. And thank you so much for sharing this platform and motivating your juniors. They need your hand holding. And I'm sure you'll mentor them and guide them all through your career and probably all through your life, all the new novices that join us. So thank you so much. Wonderful to have you this afternoon, evening rather now. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure that I'm going to make you all very proud. And a very good evening to all the teachers here and all the students. My name is Ashi Keshri, and I am currently studying from Indian Institute of Mass Communication, as told by sir. And I graduated from Amity School of Languages last year only in 2020. And like most of you, I was also not able to attend a few last few days of my college, which was very bad for me because as a student, you always look forward to have a proper convocation, have a proper farewell. I was also looking forward to it, but I could not attend it. But apart from that, all the time I spent in Amity was an unmatchable experience, really. When I say that I have studied in Amity, I mean that I have not only studied there, but I have grown as a person, right? Like Stuti ma'am said, and like Shruti ma'am also said, when you come to Amity, maybe you came to Amity because you could not go anywhere else. You know, that is the first lookout of people when they tell you that you are studying in Amity, why you are studying in Amity. When I came to Amity, I got asked this question so many times that why are you in Amity? Why in Amity? I'm sure other people also ask you the same question. So my answer to that is that when you come into Amity, you don't know obviously why you are in Amity. You are in Amity because it's a very famous institute. The advertisement is everywhere. But when you leave Amity, you know that why you were in Amity because it's such a wonderful experience. When I came into Amity, I was a very shy, a very meek, and a very inhibitious person. I did not open up to people very easily, and I can totally say that that has changed for good now. I got so many opportunities to come to the stage while I was in Amity. I got so much to do, and especially under the mentorship of Rohit sir, Manjari ma'am. You know, these are the teachers, and even Babu sir, and even Deepshikha ma'am. There are so many teachers. I cannot take each and every person's name. I'm so sorry, but these are the teachers who put their trust in you. Hannah, and when you somebody put their trust in you, you feel heard and you feel seen, which did not happen with me ever before. So I was a very inhibitious person. I was very afraid to come out in front of people and speak two words. But while I was in Amity, I changed that for good. I ventured into everything possible. I also I did journalism. I did anchoring in Amity, and I was in different cultural performances everywhere. And I was also in the dramatics club, although I did not contribute as much as my fellow classmate did. But it was an experience in itself. You'll learn so much there. If you get a chance, please, I'll suggest you that please join the dramatics club. It will help you in creating a sensibility about things around you, right? Literature is all about that. If you're learning literature, you just don't only learn the names of some authors or learn new words. You altogether gain a sensibility about the things around you, right? So that was one of the finest experiences that I had in Amity. And dramatics club was a really important part in my life. I got to present myself in front of people, and I learned how to speak, how to write things, and how to manage stuff on top of that. So it was a really great experience in Amity. And to add a few more things, if we have time, I really loved the time in Amity. I mean, I am currently studying in a government university, but the time I spend in Amity is such an unmatchable experience that I cannot even compare this university that I'm currently studying in right now with Amity. It was so good. The campus experience is so good at Amity, and I recall the days when we used to have practices till 6 in the evening of dramatics club, and then we used to go out with our friends, and there are a few places around Amity, few restaurants. So we used to go there, we used to sit there, and we used to chat about all the day, and we used to spend time there till until we got calls from our house saying, Ki, where are you? Just come back. It was so good there that we did not want to leave. So, yeah. And apart from that, if anybody needs any guidance regarding journalism and any queries, then the person can totally reach me. Thank you so much.
Surely, thank you, Ashi. I will come back to you with certain questions, and we'll open the house for students to ask. Now, the another participant is Akash Shrivastava. Now, before this, I would also tell you that we did invite Vineet Upadhyay sir and Avril Singh Saxena sir. Like Vineet Upadhyay sir is a national state correspondent in Uttarakhand with New Indian Express. He is a journalist, and just a few moments before the session was about to start, he informed that he has to go to cover some story in Uttarakashi. So there will be no network, so he won't be able to join. And Avril Singh Saxena, he's a photographer and he has his own studio, and he's also working on a current project for because of which he's unavailable. But they have assured that they will join again in some other session. Now, after this, I would like to invite Akash Kumar Srivastava. People are familiar with this name again because he is a batchmate of Ashi's, and Akash has just joined. Akash has Akash has jo-
Millie, you have something to say?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to introduce Akash, sir.
Yes, please.
So Akash sir is currently pursuing MBA from MDI Murshidabad in marketing and finance. He's also a marketing data intern. And the reason Rohit sir said that he's so involved in the department that sometimes we forget that he's our senior. That's true, because he's so supportive with everything. Like, he helps us in everything. So yeah, we welcome you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Millie. Sorry if my voice is a bit low or not audible clearly.
No,
I'm
it's
suffering.
perfectly clear. It's perfectly clear, Akash, please.
Okay, I'm suffering from flu actually, so I might not be that energetic as people are accustomed.
Akash, can I interrupt?
Yes,
No,
ma'am,
ma'am.
Akash,
No.
please. Yes,
if
ma'am,
I have
please,
your
please.
Yes, ma'am.
permission, dear,
Yes,
I
ma'am. Of
would
course, of course,
like
of
to
course.
say a few words. When Akash walked into my class for the poetry classes, which I love the experience of taking the first semesters, and because I want to get them grounded onto the ways of Amity School of Languages, I asked him, where do you come from? And he says, I come from Gorakhpur, and I have a special affinity for Eastern UP. And I told Akash, don't miss even a single chance. Catch your teachers, snatch as much as you can from them. Don't leave them. Their teachers are precious. They might have a lot of other duties performed, but catch them every nook and corner and take the maximum out of them. And Akash did just that. And I was so proud to see him on all platforms, all club activities. So it was a great pleasure having you, Akash, and seeing you take on to a platform of leadership. I know road ahead road ahead would always be very successful for you, and do keep in sync with Amity School of Languages and keep mentoring your juniors. So we're very proud of you, Akash, and do keep in touch with your home department, or your keep flying in, as they say, as the birds fly in home. So we look forward to your interactions. Over to you, Akash. Sorry for the
Sure.
interruption, but I thought I needed to put my emotions and my thoughts about you, Akash, because you can never
Sure, ma'am.
fade away from our memories.
Thank you, ma'am. It means a lot. So guys, although it just been a year, सिर्फ एक ही साल हुआ है मुझे pass out हुए, so there's not that much experience or probably not an iota of wisdom that I can offer you. But सिर्फ इतना कह सकते हैं, especially to the fifth semesters, because I see here students from fifth semester and third semester, and especially to the fifth semester, मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि I have been there. What it feels like जब आपका कॉलेज खत्म होने वाला हो, and it's like you are sitting at home for 7 hours and कॉलेज जाने को मिलेगा नहीं, वो जो uncertainty वाली feeling आती है, that really pushes you to the point of frustration. So, and a person can only admit when he's wrong and can work upon to improve himself or herself. So इसके लिए मैं चाहूँगा कि just hold on to it. Things will get better, because I was just at that position last year, and I don't feel that much ashamed, but I feel proud that I'm in a situation to accept that I went through a bad phase during that time. I got irritated, but I'm lucky enough that there were faculties like Kaushal sir, Babu sir, and Rohit sir, who were calm with me even at that time. I'm ashamed about it, but today I feel even glad that the faculties were there to support me. And today, after the duration of all these months, I realized that I have been what a stupid person that I was. So I think this was the best platform to acknowledge that. The next thing, over these past months, the only thing that I have accumulated is actually I've been turning to religion. Although being an atheist, it was a difficult thing for me, but I just want to share these couple of words with you, and I think they'll help you in the next couple of years. The quest sometimes is all about the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I say these words with utmost sincerity because, as a part of my orientation at my new college, at my PG college, MDI Murshidabad, our director said one thing: "You are a stupid person if you think the corona or then your new lifestyle is gonna fade away. This is the truth. Accept the truth as fast as possible. If you are still living in denial, then you are fooling nobody but yourself." So I guess this is the thing that I can offer you from my experiences over the past 1 year, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you, and thank you for your words. I will come back again to you. Now I would like to go back to Stuti. Stuti, just can you tell students about CELTA and how you came through the CELTA, and what is the process of joining it and doing it, and what opportunities CELTA provides you? So can you, and how did it help you, and also tell something about your company and how you're working out there in the startup. So a brief idea about that. Thank you.
Yes, sure. So British Council is an organization through which you can do your CELTA course, and there's an extensive application process. Once you fill that, you're shortlisted and called in for an interview, and there are assignments that you have to submit. But before doing CELTA, CELTA graduates have this joke amongst us that you have to get into the mindset of doing a CELTA, which is the biggest preparation required. It is exhausting, but all for the right reasons. So be prepared to sleep for just 3 hours, 4 hours for 1.5 months, and it will all be worth it. So you have to work hard. You can prepare a little bit of basics of grammar as well, and whether you have experience in teaching or not, that's not important. You can still do a CELTA. And British Council is one organization that I would recommend because doing a full-time CELTA course with them is much more difficult. But they also take you through the correct methodologies. The guidance is great. The faculty is very, very good. And the learning experience, everything will be very nice. So Yeah, so once you fill in the forms, you're selected, and then you get into the course. There'll be 6 hours of classes first half of the day, and then you have to teach also in the second half of the day, along with assignments and a lot of different methodologies of teaching. One thing that CELTA did for me was it completely debunked the method of teaching that I had grown up seeing and experiencing on the receiving end. So it taught me how to make my lessons student centric. It taught me that every child is special, every child has potential, and the most important thing that they continuously validate and they reinforce is the mind is not a tabula rasa. People actually have knowledge. All you have to do is activate their schemata, which is the existing knowledge, through activities, through different methodologies. So even if you don't know, it's never that you do have no idea about it. So that's about the course. Right now, I am working with CAMK12. CAMK12 is an edtech startup started in 2010. It was India's first coding boot camp. We've associated with many schools. And on the 1st of March itself, they started off with this course called Art of Communication, where they teach creative writing and public speaking. So I'm co-leading the English department there. If anyone is interested in applying for a teaching job, you can do that. I've already told Rohit sir that we're always on a lookout for good teachers, and if Amity has good teachers and students want to explore the opportunity, which I'm sure that given the exposure that you get in that institute, I'd be happy to help you out in this process.
Okay, thank you. Stuti, what's the fee structure of the CELTA, and can you tell, and is it an internationally recognized course, or does it help in students who want to teach abroad? Can you tell that?
Yes, it is an internationally recognized course along with TESOL, so you can pursue that course as well. But before if you have a particular geographical location in mind, say Canada or UAE, then go through their college websites and see what prerequisite they have. CELTA is internationally recognized. It's even more recognized if you have a master's in linguistics, but not necessarily. Having said that, it's slightly expensive. The fee structure is a lakh and a half. Almost a lakh and a half, yes, for 1 month course, so it is expensive that ways. But a band B and a band A in CELTA is acknowledged everywhere. You can also work in the British Council. After you complete your CELTA, you can also work for language schools. It opens a wide range of opportunities. If you have a B.Ed degree, you can start working with IB schools in India as well. And IB schools that experience is also acknowledged across the globe. So that's about CELTA particularly.
All right. Thank you, Stuti. Thank you. It's valuable information.
Thank you so much, Stuti. I hope the students will learn a lot. And here's the chief guest of the day, Miss Mehru Jafar, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, would you like to start your session, or do we?
Yeah.
That's just 7 or 8 minutes.
Dr. Deep Shikhar, if you
Yes,
give me
ma'am.
a minute, I would like to personally welcome
Please, ma'am.
Mehru Jafar. I'm totally inspired by the simplicity in her writing. Her writings are so eloquent. And when I read your book, Mehru, it was a delight to read. Being a girl from Lucknow, Shades of the Past was a wonderful read. In fact, when I picked up the book, I couldn't leave it till the last page. And I felt that what you were writing were actually pages out of my own feelings. and I connected so well. You know, the Lucknow of the 60s onwards till date, you have covered it immensely well. And I must congratulate you. I recommend this book for all of those who are Lucknow lovers. I'm so happy that you took your precious time. Eid Mubarak, बहुत बहुत Mubarak. And even on this auspicious day, when you have been flooded with so much of celebrations, you took your precious time out for us. So thank you so much, Mehru, for joining us. And our students would love to hear you. So over to you, Mehru. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank you so much.
I'll always be very indebted, and we'll be troubling you off and on to give us your tips on creative writing and the robust, energy for the students that is needed to be being aware around them and then writing it in such simple, eloquent language. I hope they learn from you. Thank you so much, Meru.
Thank you. Thank you. There's no better celebration than stepping out of your very isolated writer's corner and to communicate with the youth of the country. You know, it's very important that whatever experiences I have gained throughout my life, I share it with the youth, because you know our only hope is the youngsters, and whatever shape the nation takes, it will depend on the values practiced, the way of life chosen by young people and the students of today, who are the leaders, our leaders of tomorrow. So I'm very pleased that I would have liked no better way to celebrate Bakrid than to be talking to you. So the pleasure is all mine. So I've made a few notes, and I'm going to my notes to talk to you. Mr. Prasad's brief to me was to talk something which will motivate the students in the future. So I don't know if this is a motivational talk or not, but it comes from the bottom of my heart, and I hope it reaches the bottom of all your hearts. So the theme today is teaching yourself to love, because we often do not realize the power of something as simple as love. So let's get into the topic immediately. And these are some of the notes I've scribbled to share with you. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me this evening to be part of this glorious event. I take this opportunity to congratulate each one of you to have made it this far. Yet, this success of yours is only the beginning of countless possibilities that await you in life. I would like to extend a very warm hello to the alumni. Mr. Prasad told me that a batch of alumni would also be present here this evening. And if they are, then this is a beautiful link, you know, from the past to the present, and of course, naturally, we take it to the future. So everyone else who is with us, thank you so much for listening to me. It is always a pleasure to be in the company of the young ones and to dialogue with students. As youth implies hope, the beauty of dialoguing with students is that hope is still alive. You know, when you talk to youngsters, you are talking to hope. Your heart is full of hope, And by talking to the youngsters, uh, you get some kind of a vision of what the society will look like in the future. So my wish for all of you youngsters today is that you are able to hear your heart. I don't know how many of us listen to the heart often enough when it tells you, because the heart will tell you, if you listen to it, how to live life. My hope for you is that you find the courage and the conviction to follow what your heart tells you, what your heart is dreaming. But first and foremost, you have to listen to your heart. It goes without saying that there is no heart in any human being which does not desire only what is heartfelt and worth living for. I can't imagine any heart giving us signals to destroy and to be obsessed with hate. So I think most of the hearts, if they are listened to, they will tell you how to be joyous in life. And that is why it's very important to listen to your heart. Along with concentrating on the physicality of your existence, your beautiful body, on your abs, if you aspire to develop abs and toning up the body, remember, always remember to tune in to that precious heart of yours and to ask yourself, what kind of a future do you imagine for yourself as an individual and collectively as a responsible member of society? That which will add value not only to your individual life, but also benefit a maximum number of citizens who cross your path. What do you think is the best way individuals may collaborate with the collective and the self with the other? Now, this is some food for thought. Think about it. Think about how you want to place yourself in this world and how you want to place the others in the same space. Anything that you choose to do in following your bliss should be chosen after a jolly good heart-to-heart session with your heart, after which I hope your heart will walk you into the future without fear. So what kind of a future do you plan for yourself? Fearless, of course. But is it a future in which you see the commercial and material aspects of life as enough? Or will you struggle? Will you continue to struggle to also make room for the spiritual and the cultural in your life? You don't have to turn your back on the material. The material aspect of life is as important, but make room, make sure you have space also for the spiritual and the cultural in life. And what about love? What role will you allow love to play in your life in the future? Will you be able to recognize the different kinds of love that exist and separate and know the difference between love and lust? Do you feel also that love is a seizure that comes from recognizing that the other is a human being just like yourself? What is that mystery, that electric encounter that you experience when you find love rising up from inside of you? And I hope that you are aware that ecstasy often gives way to agony. And despite that, you must remain consistent in continuing your commitment to consciously teach yourself to celebrate love. You know, very often we think love is that comes automatically to us, and we become unconscious of the fact that we actually have to consciously teach ourselves to be kind, to love the other, and to live in harmony in this world. You have to consciously practice love, kindness, and compassion. Why must you do that? Why should you do that? Because when love hurts, that is also the moment when you are able to feel your heart beat best. It is the job of the heart to be able to sense sorrow as well as to respond to joy. Even in times most sorrowful, never ever give up on love, because it is only love that is able to cure what makes the heart ache most. In many a love song, you might have come across the sorrowful lover pleading with the love to return. Because if love doesn't return, the inflicted lover will die, because love is the only cure for the lover's illness. This is what the poet perhaps means when he says, रंजिश ही सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए आ, रंजिश ही सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए आ. I hope all of you understand, know enough Hindi to be able to understand this line. If not, I can translate it for you later in the question and answer session. So love is most essential as part of life. Love is both cause and cure. And that is why the human heart is unable to do without love. The heart will heal once every pair of opposite, like good and evil, light and dark, woman and man, come together to unite, not grow further apart, but come together to unite in harmony. Then, only then, the world will stand still and in peace and be quiet. Somewhere I came across the thought that every act has both good and evil results. It's up to us to gravitate towards the good or towards the evil. That every act in life yields pairs of opposites in its results. The best we can do is to lean towards the light and away from the dark, so that harmonious relationships of compassion and understanding of the other person are visible in this light. According to Joseph Campbell, I recommend the author Joseph Campbell to all of you. He is the master of finding meaning in the different mythologies that exist around the world. According to Campbell, when the heart awakens to compassion and to suffering of the other person, that is the beginning of humanity within you. And the meditations of all religions are on that same level, at the open doorstep of the heart. You cannot be a religious person, a spiritual person, if you do not listen to your heart and you keep the doors of your heart locked all the time. Because when you open your heart, that is when you realize that the creator of the world is housed not in tall temples, majestic mosques, and charming churches, but there in your heart. Do you realize that it is your duty to yourself to open your heart, to feel it beat, and to arouse passion in that heart of yours for other human beings? That is the highest form of love, to open up the heart to another human being. And this is a very special human quality that no other living species possesses, which is that special ability to welcome another into your own heart. Only a human being is consciously capable of doing that. But do all of us human beings do that on a regular basis? Maybe, maybe not. This is a question you have to ask yourself. So let us continue to talk today about love a little more. Let us embark upon a journey of love in times when a lot of hate is being thrown at us in the hope that it will stick. Let us celebrate instead today that most mysterious force of life called love. How do we do that? Now let me see. Maybe by talking a bit about a poet who has written the most wondrous verses about love. Since I'm in the company this evening of students and teachers of English literature, I would like to introduce you to this amazing poet, that is, if you don't already know him. This is a poet who is a master at expressing love in all its depth and splendor. Unlike the poets you have just studied, this poet did not write in English, but wrote the greatest love lyrics in the Urdu language. And because we meet in Lucknow today, and because he wrote in Lucknow, I thought all you students of English literature might also want to know about this great poet of the Urdu language, and about what he wrote and how did he become such a champion of love. Maybe some of you have even read him. Mir Taqi Mir. नाम तो जरूर सुना होगा आपने. Mir is Urdu's first great poet and called Khudae Sukhan, the god of poetry. He was born in 1723, almost 200 years ago in Agra, and his life as a poet took off in Delhi. Is it 200 or 300? Mir came to live in Lucknow in 1782 because Delhi was destroyed, looted, and devastated by the Iranian warrior Nadir Shah and the Afghan warrior a little later called Ahmad Shah Abdali. Mir died in Lucknow in 1818. He composed countless soul-stirring love poetry called the Ghazal. Much of his writing is love because it has the power to lift the spirit and to help one to become aware of all of the self and to point to the potential of all human beings to go beyond the mundane concerns of life. His style is conversational with a touch of colloquial. He has a good command of Persian, which he blends with the earthy vocabulary of local dialects like Avdi, making it possible for a cross-section of readers to enjoy his verses. His poetry overflows with elements of the Shringar Ras, which is, as you know, the essence of romantic love in the Indian tradition. Above all, Mir's poetry is humane. Says Firaq Gorakhpuri, another great progressive Urdu poet who died in 1982. When Mir puts his hand on his heart, it feels that he has placed his hand on the heart of all humanity. Mir seems to belong to the whole world when he says that earth is love, that sky is love. All the four directions are full of love, while he, the humble poet, is a creature, a humble creature of the Creator, and love for the poet is the closest to worship. So this is the translation into English, but originally Mir wrote in Urdu, and this is what he says. अर्ज ओ समा में इश्क है, अर्ज ओ समा में इश्क है, सारे चारों ओर भरा है इश्क, हम हैं जनाबे इश्क के बंदे, हम हैं जनाबे इश्क के बंदे, नजदीक अपने खुदा है इश्क. चलते हो, now this is another couplet. चलते हो तो चमन को चलिए, चलते हो तो चमन को चलिए, कहते हैं कि बहरान है, पात हरे हैं, फूल खिले हैं, कम कम बादो बारान है. Now the translation of this beautiful couplet goes like this. If we must go, let's go to the garden, invites Mir in this couplet. They say that spring is here. The leaves have turned green. Flowers are in bloom. There is a whiff of breeze and also some drizzle. So this is Mir, whose father was a mystic, a faqir, darwesh, and a Sufi. In his autobiography, Zikr Mir, the poet talks with great love about his father and about the lessons that his father gave him in days when many more hearts were more noble than today, and many more hearts that were more gentle, perhaps, than they are today. When love was so utterly romantic that it was able to transcend lust, what Mir's father told him then stayed with him all his life and gave him courage to live life the way he wanted to throughout the period that he lived on this earth. Mir was about 11 years old when his father died, and his mother died when he was even younger, leaving Mir an orphan and at the mercy of an unfriendly older stepbrother. While he was alive, it was his father who taught Mir that it is love and love alone that makes the world go round. That love is a mostly worthy ideal to be lived for. That love is a most worthy ideal to be lived for. And because the lessons of love taught to Mir by his father had such a great impact on him, I would like to quote those lessons for you here. The lessons which Mir's father left for Mir, the little boy. Just in case the memory of those words by Mir's father is able to also enforce within you the strength of your convictions in the future and light up your life at moments of darkness that may also cross your path. Mir's father told him, son, never let go of love, because love is the most dynamic force that binds and controls the universe. Nothing happens unless you put a lot of love into your life. If you take love out of your life, it becomes barren like a desert. Everything around you is the manifestation of love. Water is love, so is fire. Even death is love. The night is the time when love sleeps. The day is when it wakes up. When you fill your heart with love, it attains perfection. Virtue glows when there is union with love. Sin, mind you, sin arises when you separate yourself from love. Why do you think paradise is attractive? Paradise is attractive because it is filled with love. Why is hell a place of horror? Hell is horrible because no love is to be found there. That the practice of love is more significant than any prayer or pursuit of knowledge. This world is nothing but a momentary excitement. Do not indulge too much in it. Love is the only real thing. Prepare yourself for a journey of love, and all else will follow. My son, you are the treasure of my life. What kind of fire burns in your heart? What is your passion? What do you want to be in your life? When Mir heard his father ask him these questions, he had no answer. Tears just rolled down his cheeks. And you must know that tears are not always shed out of sorrow. Tears are also shed when the core of your heart is touched, when your being is filled with gratitude and a feeling of being cared for. To tear up is a sign that compassion resides in the heart. It is a sign that you, the human being, has a heart. Son, this world is a garden, the father said. Be a nightingale whose spring never ends. The spring never ends for a nightingale because it sings non-stop. In Urdu poetry, the garden is a metaphor for the world. The different flowers, plants, and trees, the colorful flora and fauna is us, the human being, and the nightingale with her non-stop singing is a metaphor for the poet in our midst, who does not stop to recite in poverty or in wealth, in darkness or in light, in the cold of the winter or in the unbearable heat of the summer months. Admire beauty whose colors never fade, continues the father. Keep your heart always strong, and love makes the heart strong. Always be ready to face odds in life. The world will change continuously. Do not be depressed when things change or go bad for you. Consistently continue to love. It is also your duty to yourself to periodically keep reminding your elders, your teachers, and members of the alumni of your institution that it is absolutely, absolutely their business to keep providing you with clues towards a more serene life, which is a happy balance between the spiritual and the material worlds. Now it is my hope and it is my prayer that lessons taught to Mir about love and life by his father may also guide you and also give you the courage to follow your own bliss throughout your life without disturbing the bliss of another fellow human being. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you and your words, encouraging words. And I must say that it all directly reached the bottom of my heart. And I believe that it definitely must have reached to the bottom of the hearts of all our students and our faculty. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Now we open the session for question and answer. Students, whatever you have to ask, you may please proceed.
Students, I would request if you have questions to Mehru ma'am or to alumni, you can raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. Let's make it interactive session. And I know such a please raise your hands if you have any questions. And
With your permission, thank you so much, Mehru. Delightful words, and it reminded me of the two lines that I wrote in my poem. So much in love with the idea of love, each day a Valentine. You're very right. It's love that makes us go. It's love that survives us, sustains us, and keeps on giving us hope when the future seems so challenging, so unstable, and when the road ahead seems to be dark instead of lit up. So, thank you so much. Mir was indeed a poet, worth a recognition, and I think all people who have lived on the soil of Lucknow owe a lot to Mir, and of course, Firak Gorakhpuri, an unparalleled teacher and a poet. Thank you so much for going into such details, and I hope our students of literature learn from not only writers of English, but look to their local grounds and read more of local writers, those who have cropped up from our own soil. Thank you so much, Meru.
Most welcome.
No words to express my thanks. Wonderful session.
I think Paramita wanted to ask question. Paramita?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, first of all, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I really loved to hear you. Like, I never heard of me and Fakir Galib, but it was really a pleasure listening from you. And one more thing, ma'am, the way you presented the thought that we need to have a conviction in, we need to find the conviction to follow our heart was so inspiring. And ma'am, one more question. Like, ma'am in the beginning, Kumkum ma'am in the beginning stated that it's a book of yours that's Fades of the Past, and she found it really inspiring. Like, I really love to write certain things, but my things fail to connect with other people. Whatever I write, and I was in a content writing internship, and they complained to me of this, that your things do not connect with other people. You fail to draw a connection. People cannot relate back to your content. So, can you give me certain tips so that I can improve on it, like creative writing, especially?
Of course, I speak from experience, and I'm sure when I was writing at your age, I might have had similar anxieties because at your age, you do not have enough experience of the world to make your writing universal, and that is what is important for all writers, to look at the complexities of the world and to simplify it for yourself and in your writing for your readers. So I would suggest, I mean, you must be what, 19, 20, not more than 21. You have mashallah, a long journey ahead. So what I would say is just keep writing what your heart and your mind tells you to write. And the maturity and the depth and the simplicity of dealing with complex topics will eventually come later with maturity, but you have to be very, very consistent, and just consistently keep reading and writing, and that is all you have to do. When it will come, when you will be satisfied with what you have written, I don't know when that moment will come, but I promise you it will come one day.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Anybody else who would like to ask any questions? it's a great opportunity, you know. Yes, Arshma wants to ask. Yes, Arshma, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My question is to Meru ma'am. Ma'am,
Ji.
firstly, I'd like to say that I loved how you told us that we should follow our heart and everything, but we should also have a balance. Like we need to look at the materialistic view also. So I loved how you explained that thing. And the
Thank you.
question, if you don't mind, I would like to ask that what did what was the thing that inspired you to go to into writing and all this? Because as you said that we should know what is our inspiration in order to follow that. So this is my question to you.
You know, unless you are a very good planner, even then things don't work out. So, you know, a lot of things happen not by chance, but they happen because of the way your interests in life develop. So, it was not as if, you know, since I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a student of English literature and grow up and be a writer. It doesn't happen like that. You know, you are born, and then you are there are influences of a certain kind around you, and uh, then you follow one path, and that leads you to another path. You know, it's a very individualistic journey, the way uh, creativity blooms in an individual. You know, there's no formula. So what you have to do is to just keep asking, like talking to the heart means, you know, it's symbolic of being in touch with your feelings. You know, just keep talking to yourself, just keep finding out what is it that you really want. And sometimes you land up doing in life something that you never had ever imagined, you know. So don't be obsessed with will I make it or not. Just do what you must do, because you know, when I was your age, I had different possibilities. I could have I went and bought books and attended a coaching institute to prepare for the Indian administrative examination. Then I did a lot of theater, and at one stage I thought I will be on stage for the rest of my life as a actor, as a director, and that love still exists. But at some stage in my life, writing became a profession, and theater passion. You know, so allow your creative juices to go in different ways. Don't tie yourself up by saying, I will only write and be a writer. You know what I mean? Is the young lady still there? Or?
Arshma, are you
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Arshma?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes. So
Yes, ma'am. Got the point. Yes.
I would suggest that at this stage in your life, do not stress yourself of what you might become 20 years later. Just enjoy what you're doing at the moment. Do it to the best of your ability, and 20 years later will take care of itself.
That was really a lovely answer, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else who would like to ask?
Yes, sir, I would love to ask.
Okay, please
Please
go ahead.
do.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, as you are a journalist and you are an author, you have written such great articles. So, like, uh, even we want to do certain things in life, but then we feel that are we doing the right thing or are we not doing the right thing? So, I just want to ask that was there a point in your life that when you decided to do this, when you decided to write, so was there a point in your life that you felt like, oh, am I doing the right decision, am I doing the right thing or not, or should I do this or not? So how did you overcome that, if ever you felt like this?
Uh, I don't think it was, thoughts may have crossed my mind, but I don't recall it myself being in a crisis situation. You know, uh, when I did my master's in English literature from Lucknow University, and while I was studying, I was doing a lot of theater, and I was convinced that my future lies in the theater arts. And then, as soon as I finished my uh, second year master's in English literature, I was offered a job with the local newspaper. And at that stage in my life, at the age of 21, to a 21-year-old, uh, the commitment to theater was not passionate enough. What took me away from theater and made me join the newspaper was the salary, you know. So in theater, we were not able to earn money, but in the newspaper job, I would be paid a salary. So at that time, we were also very anxious. We had been dependent, you know, for 2 decades on our parents, and it was such a good idea to have your own income, you know. So that very shallow or petty uh, decision uh, was taken at that stage in my life. So it depends, you know, when are you doing something because you are in a financial crisis, you have to do it, or so you know you will come across all these, but uh, as you concentrate on your inner self and your outer self, and you keep balancing your thought, your heart and mind, answers will also come to you, so that you will have minimum regret at the end of your life. So don't be scared when you are in doubt. Give yourself, be kind to yourself, be patient, you know, mull over the problem, don't be in a hurry, you know. Like it's very, very sad when students get confused and depressed, and you know they harm themselves. There's no need for all this, you know. You just have to be kind to yourself, give yourself time, and if you wait and listen, your own voice will tell you where to go at what time. I hope that is inspiring enough, because the worst thing the youth can do is to be directionless and feel confused and depressed, you know. There's no need for anybody to feel so sad in this beautiful, beautiful world of ours.
Thank you, Mehru ma'am. There are many other students who are willing to ask questions from Mehru ma'am, but I will just interrupt. I think Stuti has another schedule lined up, so I
Yeah.
would like to thank Stuti for joining us, and we will be really grateful as if you join us and constantly and engage with the students and give your share your experience of the market and industry where you're working, and it will be really helpful for the students. Students want to ask many questions from you also, but I will just take those questions from students and I will send it to you,
Yeah.
and maybe you can send it. And rest, Meru ma'am is here, so there's some questions which students want to ask from Meru ma'am. So we will request Meru ma'am to answer them there. Thank you, Stuti, for your time. I'm really grateful to you, and department is really grateful to you. Thank you. Do
Thank
stay in
you.
touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. And yes, I'd be happy to answer all the questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So may I leave?
Ma'am, if there are no questions, then we
Here,
can. Yes, ma'am.
yes, Rohit, I would on this platform thank Meru. She was the one who helped in the audition of our children for the Suitable Boy, which was shot by BBC.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
some of our students can be seen on that serial. So I'm so thankful to you, Meru, because our students found a platform.
Lovely.
And some of my friends from all over the world, they saw my students, and when I shared with them that they asked me, how come your students got onto a BBC serial? And I said, well, God is kind. It was Mehru, and that was the first time I was meeting you. I had heard about you so often from my friends and
Very well
bandmates.
deserved.
And thank you so much, because my students got such a wonderful platform, and I thought that this was the right time to thank you, and I hope you will be helping our students in future also. So
Always,
thank
always.
you, Meru.
Most welcome. Always.
Ma'am, there are students who are texting me. They want to ask certain questions from Mehru ma'am, but we can do it later on if we are short of time, ma'am, as you say.
No. Do you?
Yes,
Should,
Rohit, just 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Rohit, we are extending
Yes, ma'am.
our time, and we have
Okay,
to
ma'am.
stop
Okay.
our recording because the
All right,
recording
ma'am.
has to go. We will
Okay.
take in all the questions, and we will plan another session with the Mehru's
Sure, ma'am.
good.
Okay.
So, is it? May I leave?
Only for those questions.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for being with us. And we'll try to connect with you sometime in future so that, whatever questions are there in the minds of the young people here, it could be answered. And once again, thanks from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the entire department. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us, sharing your experiences, sharing your valuable thoughts, your inspiring words. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And Mr. Prasad, do send me the link because there are some friends who are busy today because of Eid. So they would like to. Will you have a link?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please send it to me. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank our alumni, Miss Shruti Karla, Miss Stuti Saxena, Mr. Akash Srivastava, uh, Miss Ashi Keshri for giving their valuable time and being here with us throughout. Indeed, it's always a pleasure to be connected and associated with alumni. And I know, like, I have been in contact with many of you, and you all have a good rapport with the department. And department is always open for you, as ma'am says. Once an Amity school language you join, you are always there. So once an Amitian, you are always Amitian. So with this, thank you, and thanks for coming to this session. Thank you.
Thank you, teachers.
share in any short of time.